I do not need this energy drink, but here I go drinking it anyway. Hey guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you are new. My name is Brittany and I am on a journey to writing my very first novel. So if you're interested in hearing my writing plans for July, stay tuned. I am not actually participating in NaNoWriMo, and yes, it is because of the controversy. My region actually, all of the MLs quit, and they've actually incorporated as their own nonprofit, and they're running their own writing camps and things like that. So I'm going to be participating over there, and then I am in a couple of 25 and over writing communities on Discord as well. But I love the idea of having like a goal in July and using something to push me through actually working on the manuscript like I want to. Let's talk about the project. Initially, when I decided I was going to write a book last year during Nano, I did participate for a couple of weeks and then I got sick, unfortunately, and couldn't finish. And I was going to write this like sci-fi, history, feminist kind of story. And it had been kind of rattling around in my head for months. And then I decided a couple of weeks ago that I wanted to write something a little less involved for my very first book. And that's not to say this genre is like easy or that writing a book in any capacity is really easy, but I just felt like my very first book being this huge epic that was going to take so much time and world building and research might not have been the best for me personally. Just like everyone else, I have ADHD and I find that I get in my head too much and then I quit and then I don't continue. I figured choosing something a little bit less involved that was more just fun to kind of write would be a good fit for me because then I'm more likely to keep with it. I pulled out my handy dandy notebook of ideas and I found a list of cozy romance ideas. Young adults, so it's gonna be like a group of teenagers in a high school, very like Blake Halsey High meets Scooby-Doo meets Pretty Little Liars kind of vibes. And I took all 5 ideas and I put them in a randomizer and whichever one popped out was the first one that I write. It is going to be a series. There are going to be 5 books so far that I have ideas for. And so I'm really excited to dive into this. Something that's a little bit more fun, a little easier to put together that doesn't require a lot of like work or research. It's gonna be really good for me to start. I do not need this energy drink, but here I go drinking it anyway. Let's talk about some of the things I've been doing in June to prep for writing in July. So first and foremost, like I mentioned, I am in a writing group for people who are the ages of 25 and older. And I say thank God every day. No offense, but all the Discord groups I'm in with younger people can grind my gears a little bit. So being in there with a lot of older writers is also really encouraging because if any of you are 30 or older, or even like I would say 25 or 26 or older, and you get this feeling of like I'm starting so late, and I think being in a community of other people that are your age that are just starting is a really good reminder that like as long as you're alive, it's never too late. But what I've been doing is in this 25 and over Discord, they have a bunch of like pre-plotting exercises for you to do. So what it is every day there's a new exercise and it takes you through the month of June and it walks you through things like how to start grabbing like your characters, your settings, writing out your scenes and everything before you get to the official plotting, before you get to writing. This is more involved as far as like plotting and things like that, but I thought it was a good idea for me because again, this is my very first novel. So the very first exercise is literally just writing down your idea, but like in a what if fashion. So like, what if I was stranded on a deserted island? What if on that deserted island, I found out that there were other people there? What if the other people there were people who landed 50 years ago? What if this island time doesn't move? Like things like that. And so you just write out all of these things, which is going to be like your plot and your subplot. And then the next exercise is like you go through and you decide like, oh, I want to use this story and this story and this story and how you can put those together. You write a premise for it. You ask questions based on that premise. Right now I'm on exercise 7, which has me actually writing out my scenes. So it's like, what's the scene number, the scene description, who's in this scene, what are they doing in this scene, and like why is the scene important, or what are the results of this scene. And this is the exercise that has taken the longest so far, but it's actually been the most fun to do because I'm essentially writing the story. There's no dialogue, there's no he walked here, she walked there. It's literally like character gets a text message from their crush saying that they're having a party on Friday. The scene includes the main character and technically the crush because they're sending them the text. The main character is checking her phone and she's scrolling through TikTok or something like that. And then the purpose is to establish that they have a crush on each other very early. So it's very, very simple. And as I'm going through it, it's just very easy for me to kind of pinpoint what happens. And something that they're really big on is like not necessarily having to do it chronologically. So this is my writing notebook. Let me show you. So this is my writing notebook. Isn't she? So it's really just like a regular black notebook that my cat decided it would be really fun to chew on at some point. And I have a bunch of Sailor Moon stickers all over my house. So I just took a bunch of stickers and threw them on here just so I have a few of these black ones so I knew which one was which. So this one is specific for this project. But as you can see, I have pages and pages and pages of notes. So basically what I did, one of the exercises was just to write out ideas for a bunch of scenes. So I did that. And then you can see right here, you can see like the blue, which is like a cloud, and then the purple. So the blue are scenes that I wasn't sure I wanted to use or scenes that I feel like need a little bit more work. So I put like little storm clouds here. And then the flowers are as I use the scenes in the exercise where I have to kind of write it out. So like this. And then as I use the scene, I go back and I mark it with the purple pen. So when I'm looking at it, I know, okay, I've already used this scene. They're not necessarily in chronological order, but there is on the part of the exercise is for you to mark where in the story you want it to go. So you can put like the first couple of chapters, you can put, you know, chapter 1. So I do have it like I want this in chapter 1, this one in chapter 2. And then I'm gonna color code them when I'm done. So that way I can kind of go back and then use index cards to actually like outline where the story should go and actually put it in chronological order. And that will also help me understand like if there are any gaps, anything missing, or anything that I need to edit. So that's what I've been working on. I still have 12 exercises left to be caught up. And so if I do 4 exercises per day, today's Wednesday, so today, tomorrow, Friday, I can do the last of the exercises on Saturday and just spend my weekend doing the fun part, which is doing some plotting, creating some index cards, making a playlist, putting together a Pinterest board, and just all of the visual fun things that are really gonna help me for July. Realistically, I'm probably still gonna be doing some plotting within the first couple of days of July, which means that I'm gonna have to make up some of those writing days. To reach my goal of 65,000 words, I'm gonna have to write about 2,096 words per day. Let's talk about kind of like what my plan is for that and like how I intend to actually get there, because I know that number sounds crazy. So yes, my goal is 65,000 words for the month of July, and I am intending for that to be the entirety of the novel. Again, I'm writing a cozy mystery, which are generally between 50 and 60,000 words. So I feel like if I overshoot and do 65 to 70,000, that gives me quite a bit of room to like narrow it down versus only writing 50K and then needing to edit, and now my book is too short, so I need to like ramp it up again. So I'm gonna overshoot and then edit towards the end. And my goal is to have the first draft completely done by the end of July. I am out of my damn mind and have decided that I want to do a series following me going from plotting to self-published in 3 months. Now, whether or not this works will be interesting to see, but this is the book that I have decided to do that for. My goal for July is to have it completely fleshed out, first draft finished, and then I can start sending out to some beta readers to get my first set of edits and things done through August. And I'll talk about that in my video talking about my 90-day plan. But for July, yeah, so I'm aiming to have my first draft done by July 31st. And my plan as of right now is to write from 5:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. I start work at about 9:30. I am salary and I also work from home. So I do have some leeway kind of during the workday when I'm not in meetings that I can kind of squeeze in. But I think I want to just have dedicated work writing hours the way that I have dedicated actual 9 to 5 hours. So my goal is to write from 5:30 to 9 a.m. every day. Give me half an hour to get my mind together, get breakfast, and then jump on at 9:30 to start work work till 5 p.m. At that point, because I've already done about 3.5 hours of writing, I have a couple of hours to decompress after work. And then around 7:30-ish, I want to do some writing until about 9:30. So the goal is about 5 hours of writing per day, which will put me at like a little over 400 words per hour, which when I break it down that way is not so bad. This seems really intense, but what I'm doing is I'm swapping my screen time for writing time. I'm also going to be swapping my video game time for writing time if I have some Steam Deck time. I mean, I'll still fit it in. My Steam Deck is not going anywhere, but I'm definitely going to be focusing more so on getting this story out and done. So some other things I'll be doing is using the Pomodoro technique. Normally, I will find a write with me video or like a work with me, study with me video on YouTube because I already have the technique done and it's got like music and vibes and I really like it. So what that is you write for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break, write another 25 minutes. So you do like 25-minute writing sprints pretty much. I'm also going to do Pomodoro method on my own and just find my own little cozy sounds and go for it. So I'm not like spending time trying to find the perfect YouTube video, but I do have some that I like to use on a regular that's already queued up. Like I said, I'll be creating a playlist, so I'll have that to kind of look through. It'll be a playlist that's specific for my story, so it should get the juices flowing. And then when I get to certain scenes, I want to do like one song per scene and then some other songs as well. So when I get to this scene, if I get stuck, I have this song that I can listen to or a couple songs I can listen to that will give me the vibe that I'm looking for to continue the story. And then the Pinterest board, of course, for the vibes, for the aesthetic. But it's the same thing. If I get caught or if I get stuck somewhere, I have the Pinterest board I can kind of scroll through and the visuals will help me get back into the groove is what I'm hoping for. So what are some of the other things I will be doing this month? My district from Nano has their own Discord and a nonprofit now, so they do their own writing events. So I will be doing that. And I highly recommend joining a writing community during this time. If you decide to stay with Nano, more power to you. But there are Discords and Facebook groups and Reddit groups, and there are so many people online who are looking for other people like them, who are writing stories and who want to connect with other people to write stories. And you never know who you'll meet and who you'll find. There's AuthorTube, there's all of us here. And to keep you accountable, I know if there are people who are expecting me to be showing up for these writing sprints, I'm more likely to go. If no one knows, if I don't tell anyone, if no one's watching me, I'll skip out and be like, oops, I thought I was gonna write a book this month. So just those writing communities I think are very pivotal for me specifically. I am an introvert, but an online kind of situation is perfect for me. Something else is find an aesthetic place to write. Like I write in my office a lot. It's pink as hell, but I've got like my Sailor Moon poster. I've got a couple things over there. It's not the most aesthetic, but I do have my window right here that I can look at. And when it's raining, I open the window and the rain falling and the wind blowing, the birds chirping, it's beautiful. But also coffee shops, going to sit at the park, anything like that. Just find other places. My back porch, sometimes I'll sit out there and do some writing and watch my dog play around. So just anything that's going to give me a change of scenery so that it doesn't seem so monotonous and it doesn't seem like a chore. It's like, oh, I gotta get up and write. I'd rather feel like I get to get up and write, and I'm excited to see like where I write today, what I see, who I meet. Can people watch? That's another thing I would suggest, finding an aesthetic, calming place to write that works for you. Take breaks. I am not going to be so strict on my daily writing goal, and I'm very clear that if I don't reach a goal one day, I'm just going to have to write extra another day, and I'm okay with that. If I wake up and I just don't have it today, I'm not gonna force it. I'm not gonna push myself, because the last thing I want to do is feel resentment or burnout or frustration and take it out on my story, if that makes sense. So showing myself some grace. I'm not good at that. I'm very much a type A about certain things, and I'm very all or nothing. And this will be a really good time, I think, for me to reestablish some self-care and just to say, you know, I've been working really hard. It's okay to take a day off. I understand that the challenge is only 1 month, and there are some people that are like, it's only a month, you can suffer for a month, but I don't believe in suffering at all. I believe in discipline, and I believe that that's important, and I think that's something I need to work on, but I also need to work on showing myself love first, and I think that's far more important. So I will be taking breaks, and I'm not ashamed of that, and I'm not afraid to say, you know, I didn't write today. As the challenge goes on, I think it might become difficult, but I'm just going to have to remind myself that my health, my mental health, I matter more than this story does. And I would love to get it done, but I would love to enjoy my life even more. So something else that I am implementing is no editing during the first draft. When I joined the Discord group for my area during Nano in November, something that they said all of the time, I think they even made stickers, was your first draft is legally obligated to suck. And I think it's a great mantra to have. I will get caught up. I don't like this. I don't like that. And then my writing suffers because I wanted to get 1,000 words done today and I only got 300 because I've been editing and getting rid of things and, you know, just self-editing and correcting myself the entire time. And during Nano, what I found was I just let it flow. Whatever came out was what came out. And a couple of months later, when I looked back at it, it wasn't bad. Like, it needed some polishing. And I think in the moment I was like, this is horrible. This is terrible. I could never do this. And then with fresh eyes was able to see like there was nothing wrong with what I wrote. And so I think just knowing that you can edit later, like you can get the whole first draft done and you can edit 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times if you want to, just get that first draft down is going to be really important for me. So I just wanted to share that with you too. Like, your first draft is going to suck and that's okay. That's okay. We're going to suck together, but we're going to get it done. And the last thing is I am going to be embracing the unexpected. And what I mean by that is that stories change and they evolve. As I have been plotting this story, it has already evolved 3 or 4 times and I found myself having to go back and edit a few things and a few ideas because I'll start writing out a scene and going, oh, actually, this story would be better if, and now I have to go back a little bit. And instead of feeling frustrated by that, I feel invigorated because I feel like the story is growing in my brain the way that it's supposed to be. And the characters are appearing to me as they are intended to be. So see it as an adventure, reframe it as a creative venture. I think it's better to just say, oh, shoot, now I have a better idea. Time to pivot, and I think you'll get a better result at the end. I don't know, this is my first book, maybe you won't. So that's something I'll be implementing for myself. Let me know, what are you guys working on? Are you participating in camp? Are you doing it through Nano, through a writing group? Are you wanting to start your own writing group? Let me know in the comment section down below, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.